In last class, we have seen control flow statements. Is it in control flow statements? There are three main categories: selection statement, iterative statement, and loop control statement. Okay, we have seen everything in that. Is it next? We are going to start with the function. Is it function? What is a function? Function is a reusable block of code designed to perform a task. Designed to perform a task. Okay. Instead of writing the same code repeatedly, we can write it once inside a function and call function whenever it is required. Why do we need use of function? Function to improve the readability of a code, is it, and reduce the code repetition, improve the reusability of the code, as well as same function in any program rather than writing the same code again, and divide the larger problem into the smaller parts. We can reuse the code, and debugging and maintenance can be make easier, make program easier to understand. These are the main reasons for using function. Okay, I'm going to give a syntax of a function. Syntax of a function. First, I'm going to call defining def function underscore name inside a parameter, and here statements. Okay. For example, I'm going to give an example. I'm going to give a grid. So you have need to take a function name as a grid. In that you need to print hello welcome to Python. At least you want to call function. This is the simple syntax, simple code. Def def grid grid. We need to print hello welcome to Python. At last we need to call a function grid. What will the output will be getting? Okay, what is the output? Hello, welcome to Python. Okay, I'm going to give in one more example. First example is based on the string. Second example is based on the integer. So I'm going to call a function name as add. I need to add, I'm going to take a two parameters, two variable name as a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 40. I need to print it. So with the proper indentation, I'm going to print A plus B. At last, we need to call a function. What will be the output? A plus B, 10 plus 40, 50. This is the output. Next, I'm going to explain what is a diff, what is a function, what is a bracket, curly bracket, what is a parenthesis bracket, what is a semicolon, why we need indentation. Okay, diff function name I have set, written shortly. Okay, def is a keyword used to define a function. Okay, and function name is a name given to the function. Okay, bracket represents the it contain a parameter if it is required. Okay, colons represents the it is the indicates the beginning of the Python represents the beginning of the function word. Okay, next we are going to see is statement inside a function. Statements inside a function. Statement inside a function. A function can contain more than one Python statements. So, for an example, I'm going to take a function name as student. I'm going to take a variable as name is equal to Aditya. Okay, and I'm going to take a age, another variable as age is equal to 20, and I'm going to print both of the variables. Print name, comma, name. Next, I'm going to print age, age, and at last we need to call a function z student. What will the output? Output is name is equal to Aditya and age 20. Okay, next we are going to see is return statement in a function. Return statements in a functions. Okay, return statements sends the result from the function back to the place where it was called. Okay, for an example, I'm going to take a function name as a add. Okay, I'm going to return 10 plus 20, and then I'm going to take a variable as the result is equal to add. I'm going to print that, print result is a result. What will be the answer? 30. Okay, we have written answer is 30. What is the purpose of the return? It sends the result from where the function is called, okay, from the function back to the place where the function is called, okay. And one more example I'm going to give. I need to square a number. Def square inside a number. I'm going to give a parameter as n, okay. Return n into n. What is the answer? And we need to print that. Print square of, I'm going to take a number as 9. What will be the output? 81. What is the difference between print function and return? Print display the values on the screen, whereas return send the result back to the function where it was called. Okay. Next, we are going to see is parameter and arguments. Parameters and arguments. What is a parameter and an argument? Parameter is a variable written in the function definition. Okay. In a function definition, we were writing a variable. What is meant by argument? Argument is the actual value passed to the function when it was calling. For an example, I'm going to take function name as greet. In that greet function, I'm going to give a name. Name here, name. Wait a minute, I'm telling last later. Name. Then I'm going to print it. Print hello, comma name. And plus we need to call a function. Is that greet? I'm going to give a name inside it. Alex with a double quote. Sorry. Here, here, name represents the parameter and Alex represents the arguments. Argument. Okay. Where the way parameter, what is meant by parameter? Parameter is a variable where we are writing written is a variable written in the definition function. Is it? Here is a definition function. This is a definition function. Function definition. function definition. Okay, so we are writing parameter in a function definition. This is a calling the function. So in calling the function, that is the argument. In function definition, that is a function inside a function, that is a parameter. I'm going to give one more example. If if I'm going to give a name as sub of, I'm going to give a parameter, two parameter, one is a and second one is b. I'm going to print it. Print variable a comma b. At last we need to call a function sub, and inside a function, while calling a function, we need to give an actual value that is called arguments. I'm going to give a one if the actual value is 10 and another actual value is 40. What is the output? What is the output? We need to add, we need to, wait a minute, it is not output. I'm going to here, see here, I'm going to highlight in the red color, that is a parameter, and I'm going to highlight that is a argument in yellow color. The yellow color highlighter is a argument and red color highlighter is a parameter. And next we are going to see is personal the sorry positional argument. Positional arguments means value are assigned to the parameter according to a position and order without changing their position and order. Okay, for an example, I am going to take def and student function as a function name. Student inside of that, I'm going to give a parameter as a name and another one and has age. Okay, I'm going to print it, both of things. Name, name, print age. Okay, at last we need to call a function z student. In that, I'm going to give an actual value which to be printed out. Okay, for example, I'm going to give Aditya as a function name of the parameter name of the variable, and age is 20. What will the output will be getting? Name is equal to Aditya and age is equal to 20. If we change the position, it automatically changes the meaning. For example, I'm going to change this. The disadvantage of the positional argument is if we change the order in the while calling the function, it automatically change the output, change the result, change the output. Okay, see, if I have given like this 20. It shows the syntax error. is it? But it is it has an advantage in another one that we called as keyword argument. What does mean by that? Keyword argument. Keyword arguments. Keyword arguments are passed using a parameter name. That is the advantage in keyword bit. If we change the order in while calling the function, there is no problem because we are calling the function with the parameter name itself. That is the advantage in keyword arguments. For example, I'm going to take a diff student name. Student as a student name function name is a student. Inside that, I'm going to take a two parameter first. Okay, name, comma, age. Okay, I'm going to print both of things. Print name. Next, I'm going to print age. At last, we need to call a function. Is it student? In that, in keyword argument, parameter name also will be passed. Is it name is equal to John, comma, age is equal to 20. What will the output we be getting? What is the output? Kanish, sorry, John 20. I'm going to give an example with the help of changing the order. Okay, diff student function, student is a function name. In parameter into I'm going to give three parameter. One is name, one is age, and another one is city. Okay, I'm going to print all three parameters. Print name, age, city. At least we need to call a function. Is it student? Student, I'm going to give a name first. City. City is equal to Chennai. Second, age. Second is name. Name is equal to Alex. Third one is age. Age is equal to 30. What will the output we be getting? Hmm? Name will be first printed. Alex. Second one is age. Third is Chennai. Okay. Why this is has more advantage than personal uh, positional argument means because parameter names are specified so that the order of is does not matter. Next, we are going to see is keyword only argument. Keyword only argument. Okay, wow. Keyword only arguments. Keyword only argument must be placed using a parameter name. Okay, so we use this asterisk symbol. For example, I'm taking a def function name as student name, comma, star, comma, age. I'm going to print it with the proper indentation in the second line. Name, comma, age. At last, we need to call a function, is it? I'm going to call a function. First one is Alex. Second one is age. Age is equal to 20. What is the output? What is the output? This is the correct form of the key only argument. If you in key only argument, if you didn't return in while calling a function, you didn't return age, that is the incorrect form. It will produce a type error because age is a keyword only. Okay. Mm. Next we are going to see is default argument. Default argument. A default argument has a value already assigned in the function definition. Okay. If the caller does not provide a value, Python uses the default value. Okay, we are going to see in one example def greet. I'm taking a parameter as a name equal to student. I'm going to print it. Print hello, comma, name. At last I'm going to print, we need to call a function greet, and so I'm going to call a function with the name of a student. I'm going to take a name as Harish. What will the output? Hello, student, and hello, Harish. Okay. Next we are going to see as variable variable length of a positional argument. Variable length of positional arguments. Sometimes we don't know how many arguments will be passed through a function. So Python provides, there are two types of arguments. Is there positional argument and uh, keyword argument. For keyword argument, they have given like a length is equal to keyword A or GS. This represents the keyword argument. Next, for personal arguments, they have given like positional arguments. These two are the length of their arguments, length of the positional and keyword arguments. I'm going to give an example for positional argument, length of a positional argument. So I'm going to take def and function name as add. In that I'm going to give star numbers. Next I need to print it. Print. I need to sum it up. Sum of numbers. So I'm at least we need to call a function. Is it? I'm going to call three functions. 10, comma, 13. Next add 25, comma, 35, comma, 40. At last I'm going to give add 1, comma, 2, comma, 3, comma, 4, comma, 5, comma, 5, comma, 5. What will the output? First one is 40. We need to add. Okay. Second one is 25, 58, and 60 is 100. And next one 2, 3, 6, 4, 10, 15, 20. 20. These are okay. This is one example for positional argument, length of positional argument. I'm going to give one more example in the form of tuples. Number in the that is in the form of tuples. Number in the form of number as a tuples. Okay. One more example. Def students star names for name in names print name. So at last we need to call a function. Is it students? First one I need to take Arun. Second Harini. And next one I'm going to take the name as Shiva. Okay. What will be the output for these things? Arun, Harini, Shiva. These are the example for positional argument, length of variable length of position. Next we are going to see is variable length in keyword arguments. Next we are going to see is length variable length variable length keyword arguments. Okay. Keyword arguments, variable length and keyword arguments represent how will we represent star keyword args. This it represents the keyword argument like variable length. Okay, accept any number of keywords arguments. I'm going to take an example. Def function name as student star details and I'm going to print the details. Next, student. We need to call a function student name is equal to area, comma, age is equal to 20, and city is equal to Chennai. What will be the output? Output will be in the form of stored in the form of dictionary. So name, area, comma, age 20, comma, city, and city is Chennai. Okay, this is the output for that. Next one we are going to see is introduction to the lambda function. Introduction to the lambda function. Lambda function is a small anonymous function. Okay, what is meant by anonymous? Anonymous means a function does not require any normal function name. Normal function means we will be having def, square, parameter, and return something, whatever it is. But in lambda version, we'll be having wait, introduction to lambda function. Lambda is a small anonymous function. What is meant by anonymous? Anonymous is a function does not require any normal function name. For example, we have a normal function name. In normal function, we will be squaring. We need to square the number. For example, I'm taking square of x return x into x. But in lambda version, we will be having print squares in lambda. Wait a minute. Lambda function square is equal to lambda argument, that is x semicolon x into x. So then I'm printing it, lambda print square of 7. What will be the output? Output is 49. The general syntax of the lambda function is lambda argument and expression. Lambda function can contain multiple arguments but have only one expression. I'm going to give an example. Add two numbers. Add is equal to lambda x. We can take two variable a comma b is equal to a plus b, and then I'm going to print add 10 comma 20. What will be the output? 30. And next we need to find the largest number, so I'm taking a largest. Next example, largest is equal to lambda a comma b if colon a if a greater than b, else b. It will be continued in a single straight line. I don't have any space, so I come to the next line, and then we need to print it. Print largest. I'm going to give a number 10 comma 19. Which one is the largest number? Output will be 19. Okay. Next we are going to see is, these are the examples for lambda function. Next we are going to see is an anonymous function. Anonymous function. Lambda function is commonly called as anonymous function because it can be treated without defining it with diff. Is it? So they call it as anonymous function. Lambda function is commonly called as anonymous function because it can be created without function definition, without DEF. Okay. Next we are going to see is map function. Map function. Map function. Where we will be applying it? Map function applies a given function to every item in an iterable. For a syntax is map function comma iterable. For example, I am going to take a variable as name is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. Okay, I'm going to print the result. Result is equal to map of lambda argument comma numbers. Next I'm going to print it. Print list result. What will be the output? What will be the output? 2 comma 4 comma 6 comma 8 comma 10. We need to multiply it. Okay. Second one. Next example, we need to square the numbers. For example, I'm taking the variable name as Chania. Next example is we need to convert a string into the integers. Okay, so I'm taking an example numbers is equal to 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma. And the result is equal to map of int comma numbers. We need to print is equal to list of, because we need to convert string into the result list integers, strings into the integers. So list of result. Okay, what will be the output? Output will be 10 comma 20 comma 30. Okay, here remember map function gives you transform everything, every element, transform every elements. Okay, thank you.